Harambe YouTube. It is Charles here, and today we're going to talk about Superman Unlimited from DC Comics. I honestly didn't know what to expect with this book. When I picked it up, I was in the comic book store, Spellbound Apothecary and Entertainment, located in the Eastridge Mall in Casper, Wyoming. And while I was there picking up the books from my pull box, I saw this um, on the shelves, and it was intriguing to me, so I had to get my copy. Uh, this is The Dawn of the Emerald Era. That's the title of this first book. And I am not traditionally a fan of Superman. I find him to be one dimensional and hokey, and there's really not a lot of depth to the character in the portrayals that I've seen thus far. Unless we're talking about Absolute Superman, which I absolutely love. It's that's the Absolute Universe is kind of an alternate take of popular DC characters. But I find that, like I said, in the works that I've read, and it's limited, I will admit that. It's limited to the movies, the cartoons, and the occasional comic book I pick up here and there. But what this does, especially for a person who doesn't know a lot of Superman lore like myself, is it very cleverly um, introduces you to the lore, to the character, and it covers everything from his escape from Krypton to his current life now, and it's done through a near-death experience. And so his life literally flashes before his eyes as he's trying to stop this asteroid that was, and there will be some spoilers, but I will try to keep it relatively spoiler free. But an asteroid was sent to Earth, and it was covered with this metal that wasn't even supposed to be able to be mined until the future. I think it's like the 31st century, something like that. And what he finds is that this big hunk of metal that is on a collision course with Earth is not a big hunk of that metal. That metal is a thin layer surrounding a massive chunk of kryptonite. And so you figure out that it was really a trap to get to Superman. He slows it down and he's able to change his trajectory. But what I really, really like about this is that first, you look at this book here, all of these pages right here, this was establishing where he is, where Lois is in life, and what's going on currently in their world. And then we are met with this ticking clock element of a asteroid barreling toward Earth, and he's off to do it. And then, he's off to handle it. And we find out that all of this was preamble. Two, we get the official opening credit here in the blink of an eye. And there we have the writing team introduced. Dan Slott is the writer. The artist is Raphael Buquerque. Oh man, I feel so bad about butchering that name. He also did the cover as well. But we cut to we see this big, massive, chunk of kryptonite that he is faced with. And of course, he could easily avoid it and let it hit Earth and spare his own life, but he's Superman. He doesn't do that. He does everything in his power, knowing it's going to lead to the end of his life, to redirect this asteroid of kryptonite. And then we cut from that into the life flashing before his eyes flashback. And we see him growing up in Smallville, how his parents found him. And when he became a teenager, they led him to the capsule he was sent to, and that's how he got Krypto the dog, and how he found out about his heritage and his history with Krypton, and when he really decided to start being Superboy. And so it goes back to, the time when he met Lex Luthor as a young adult and his other friends, and 2 now with him married to Lois Lane and having their son Superboy. And so I think that this is brilliant because it introduces you to the lore from the beginning in a way that is entertaining. It's not just a couple of paragraphs at the beginning of the book. It is a large part of the middle of the book. And I think this could have been a brilliant one-shot book. We get that big story that in 2 parts, and I would have been satisfied with that. But we find out that this has consequences, multiple consequences that are going to lead to expanding the narrative. The kryptonite did impact the earth, and I think it had an ocean splash down. But what it did is it took a small island nation and made them one of the richest. And this is all while he was, because we find out, I skipped a little bit ahead, but we find out that the asteroid didn't kill him. In fact, what it did is, in essence, saved his life, and he was in a coma for 3 months. And while he was in that coma, he finds out that, let's see, yeah, right there, where is it at? Okay, yeah, the nation state of El Caldero, they have become the largest economy in the world. And it's because of the kryptonite asteroid that crashed near them. And this new market of kryptonite. And what he finds is that his son and Supergirl, while they have been fighting crime, they are showing visual scars and bruises because they are now vulnerable to this source of kryptonite, and nefarious actors are using it to try to destroy them. And we find out that, the kryptonite, as opposed to harming Superman, gave him a measure of invulnerability. Hence the dawn of the Emerald Era. I'm assuming that's what that's about. So it's a really enjoyable book. And I think if you're somebody like me who is kind of soured on the Superman character, I am definitely going to be getting into book number 2 of this. It has piqued my interest, and besides the Absolute Superman series, which I love, this will be another way for me to, I hope, enjoy Superman and get to know him a little bit better. And who knows, maybe once I get into this book and I find out more information about Superman, it'll give me a different perspective on the other works of Superman that I've read that I did not dig so much. So that's been enough for me talking about Superman Unlimited number 1. Thank you for watching, and get yours at your local comic book store while you can. If you're in Wyoming, check out Spellbound, Apothecary, and Entertainment, located in the Eastridge Mall, right across from Hot Topic, like I said earlier in the video. And if you're in Wyoming and you order from them over $35 worth of books, they will ship to you for free in state. And if you're not in Wyoming and you're still looking for an easy-to-use website with great shipping rates, check out my friends over at coffeeandacomic.com. They're located in Huntington Beach, but they ship nationwide, and they have great service. They give you complimentary coffee with every purchase, and they pack everything safely and securely and get it to you promptly. So I'll see you next time. Until then, keep reading them books. I'm out.